Good evening and welcome to another cloud computing session with TDME, where today we are going to be working on we are going to be building a WebSocket whereby we are going to use a private GitHub repository together with an EC2. And on that EC2 we are going to configure a reverse nginx server, we are going to configure Node.js and so many things. So I have after the completion of the project, I succeeded in documenting the project using Notion. So Notion is simply a site where you can go and document all your projects, the steps, screenshots, and all the rest. So this is basically what we're working on today. We'll be building a WebSocket-based interactive Tug-of-War game, okay, for enhancing primary level mathematics engineering. So I'm just going to show you an output of what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just see. Okay, so basically this is it. It is hosted locally on a machine and it has been transferred to the cloud and tested, which works. But as of now, it is strictly for 2 players. Okay, so this simply means that when we are done and the link will be shared, 2 players, at 2 different ends or on 2 different devices. Yeah, when it's being hosted over the cloud, we need to input their name here. Okay, click on join games. When they join game, now the countdown will start from 60 seconds onward, and some mathematical questions will eventually appear here. And so let's just do a test. So I'm going to open so let me copy this since I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to open another tab. I'll put this tab here, and I'm going to minimize this tab. So let me just put it side by side, and yeah, let's test it locally. As I said, it worked also. So I'm going to put somewhere here, and I'm going to put John. For example, I'm going to put John. And when I click join game, and remember, now it's locally, we are on the same network, okay, and on the same PC. When you do it over the internet, when you host it over the on the AWS platform using EC2, you can access this remotely on different devices. So I click join game. So you see, unless the second player click join, the countdown will not start. Okay, I see the countdown. So the faster you answer, you see it's a Tug-of-War game. The faster you answer, you see it goes towards your side, as you can see, and all the way. So that's basically what we want to do today. Okay, so that's basically what we want to do today and all the rest. So I'm going to share this the link to my Notion private repo that contains the documentation of the project, as I said. So first we need to create private repo. So I'm going to put this in the public repo and attach the link under this video so that you can clone the app if you don't have an app. So you can as well develop or generate any application of your choice that you want to use for this particular project. But as I said, I have a Tug-of-War math game that have been developed. So my game my source code have been uploaded to a private GitHub repo. As you can see here, it's made up of a .js file, a JSON file, an HTML, which is the body, and some other content. This is how my private repo has been structured, and this is basically how yours needs to be structured. So this is something like a flow diagram of our project. So the user access it over the browser. In this particular video, we are going to stick with HTTP since we don't have any certificate now, or we don't want to, it's not a production something. Okay, it's a prototype that I want to test, and when it works, then you can, go as further as send it to the production level. So we'll come through HTTP in our case. Okay, there is a reverse proxy nginx server that is there to enable us access it behind ports like port 80. Okay, and yeah, on our EC2 we are going to create Node.js. We are going to create a socket.io app, and we are going to use PM2 to manage it. So our EC2 is going to do that. Then our EC2 sorry, our EC2 is going to be linked with our private GitHub repo, in such a way that it's like creating a CI/CD pipeline. Whenever any modification is being done on our GitHub, okay, automatically commit to the EC2 and it will be sent over the internet through our reverse nginx proxy. Okay, you can go as far as, if you don't want to do this, you can also, always update your EC2 manually. But the best way is to do what? Link your EC2 with GitHub so that it automatically do what? Commits everything for you. By doing so, you are, creating a CI/CD pipeline. So the estimated cost for this project, in case you want to send it to production, you're going to be spending, something averagely, let's say, yeah, 8 to 12 US dollars per month. Okay. So as I said, we are going to create a private repo. We are going to, upload our files by creating this structure to that private repo. Private for security. The only access acceptable should come through your EC2 or you having the GitHub account. So after that, we are going to launch our EC2. We are going to be using Ubuntu for now. Stick with the free tier since you're testing. But before you do so, make sure you must have created a VPC, created some public and private subnet, create a security group and NACL, allowing HTTPS if you want, SSH, and some basic protocols. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go watch my previous video on setting up your own customized VPC and its component. So we're using PuTTY to securely and remotely access our EC2 for the configuration, because we're going to do the configuration manually by ourselves. We don't want to pass any user data for bootstrapping. So these are some of the commands that I've documented, tested, and proven, and it worked. So I had to just, document it and keep it so that I can share. But you should know that whenever a project has been done, in some years or some months to come, some updates might be available, some changes. If it doesn't work for you, please kindly do your private research to know how to modify or adjust or correct some errors. So we're going to update and, upgrade our, sorry, we're going to update and upgrade our EC2. We are going to install Node. Okay, so we're going to install Node, we're going to install nginx, we're going to install PM2, we're going to install Git. Okay, we're going to create an SSH key because now you cannot access Git using username and password again from Ubuntu as of now. So the best and the secure way is we're going to generate an SSH key on our EC2, which will then pass it on. Okay, we'll then pass it on to our GitHub following this procedure. Okay, it might not be the same for you, but please kindly just make sure you should be able to create a new SSH key, and you're going to paste what you will copy from the SSH key generated. So after doing so, we are going to clone our repo on our EC2. Okay, then we'll install npm for those who are versed with Node.js. Okay, if you're not, then just know that's what you're going to do. We'll start our PM2 server for that will help us manage our servers. Okay, then we are going to test it locally. If it works locally, then we'll go as far as configuring our nginx for reverse proxy. We'll create a config file and we're going to paste this. Now, in the process of pasting this, you should take note that in case or in your scenario, if you have a custom domain and an SSH server in such a way that you want the people should type a particular name on their browser and not use the public IP address or the public DNS URL given to you by AWS on that particular EC2, then you need to replace this with what? Your custom domain if you have one. But if you don't, please just stick with the default, and the public IP of your EC2 will be what you'll be sharing for people to test your simple Node.js site. After you must have done this, you have to save. Okay, it's a nano file. You open a text editor where you just copy and paste, or you can type and you save. Then you enable nginx. Then now you're going to test. If you take note, there's a difference between testing an nginx and testing this. Basically, when you do this, this is the default port that is used to access local servers. Okay, but now since we are coming through nginx and we don't want to use this default port, we want to go through port 80. Then that is the use of our reverse nginx proxy. Okay, when you do this, then you should be able to see the body of your HTML code display on your terminal. And after that, you can now copy the public IP address of the EC2, paste on the browser, then you should see your game. Okay, that is basically what you need to do. And lastly, we need to create a CI/CD setup whereby you go to your GitHub open your GitHub repo, you're going to create a .yaml file, and you're going to paste this as it is. Okay, you're going to paste this as it is. From there, now you scroll down. Okay, you're going to follow also this step by doing what you need now to link your GitHub repo to your EC2, so that whenever there's a modification in your GitHub repo, you automatically commit to the EC2 so that it can be accessed over the internet. So you need to create two actions, okay, on the GitHub. So simply follow this part. It might not be the same for you. Just make sure you can identify secret and variables, and under actions, okay, you need to create two. So the first one will be what? The EC2 host, where the value will be the public IP address of your EC2. The second one will be named EC2 SSH key, where now the value will be what? The PEM key. So take note, before creating your EC2, make sure you attach to it a .pem private key. Okay, a .pem key pair. You know what key pairs are. If you don't know, you can watch the previous video where I'm going to show you. Make sure you attach a .pem key pair to it, whereby you need to paste the entire private key here. Okay, now you might be wondering, what if I attach a private key pair, and how will I use putty? You can use putty gen to convert the .pem to the .ppk, which I'm going to show you. Unless you do this, whenever you do changes on your GitHub, it will not be reflected on EC2. Okay, so if you don't do this, take note, it means you have to always, whenever you do modification on your code on GitHub, you have to always log into your EC2 and issue this command. Okay, you have to always log into your EC2 and issue this command you see here. If no secret, if you don't create this secret, this is what you need to be doing all the time, which will be stressful, but at the start there is no problem. Okay, so that is basically as I said, this is a proof of concept tested. Okay, so that is basically what we'll be doing for this project. So in the next part of this video, we're going to dive straight into why we are here. We'll start by creating, or I'll show you, because I've already created my repo already. I'm just going to walk you through on how to create your private repo, launching your Ubuntu EC2, connecting to it, and as well, you know, doing the configuration, and the final part will be testing. Thank you, stay tuned, see you in the next video, and bye for now.